Not in the ATP circuit. I think the WTA is a great platform for us professional women tennis players, though I think it gives us a lot of opportunity. I'm very grateful for everything they have built for us, given us a chance to become these stars and do what we love in such grand stages. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Earned it. You know, I've definitely earned it. I've put it. Pushes me to be better. So I'm trying to find my limits and go past. I'm quite an introvert. Definitely the younger demographic in the tour are the. Yeah, it's always very difficult to. It's a difficult decision to retire from a match. I know no one likes winning.
The WTA just made a statement about Alex Eala that nobody in the tennis world was prepared for. And when you hear what she said in response, you'll understand exactly why the entire tour is now watching her every move. Stay with me, because this story goes way deeper than the headlines.
Just talk us through how you thought you were playing and the chat you had with Coco at the net afterwards as well.
Yeah, it's always very difficult to. It's a difficult decision to retire from a match. I know no one likes winning like that, and no one likes losing like that. So, nevertheless, I'm really happy with how I played. I'm really happy with my performance, and I hope I can make the best out of the momentum.
Before we get to the WTA's statement, you need to understand where Ala's head is right now. She just walked off the court against Coco Gauff, not defeated, retired. And what she said next reveals something about her mental wiring that most players her age simply don't have. Watch.
Not in the ATP circuit. I think the WTA is a great platform for us professional women tennis players, though I think it gives us a lot of opportunity. I'm very grateful for everything they have built for us, given us a chance to become these stars and do what we love in such grand stages. So that's all I'm going to say about it.
Did you catch that? She chose her words like a diplomat, a 20-year-old who knows exactly what she can and cannot say about the organization that controls her entire career. That's not naivety, that's calculated. And it raises one question: what is she actually holding back? Because what comes next...
2 days ago. Obviously, so much has happened over the past 2 months, but I'm so happy trying to be in the moment. This is my first 1,000 competing as a direct entry in the main draw, because in the past thousands that I've done well, like Madrid and Miami, I've been wildcards. And any 1,000 that I've ever played, I've been in through wildcard. So this is a big moment for me, and I'm trying to soak it all in. I'm trying to enjoy prep, as you know, and I'm so blessed to have. But I don't think I've still really felt a huge impact. I think when I go home and I'm able to see it with my family, then things will start to sink in. But then, you know, the tour is like ever evolving. It's always going on, and there's always a new thing to focus on. So right now, that's my next match in Rome. Random people in Rome just coming up to me, and I never would have thought that I would be, you know, I would be recognized in a place so far away from home. If you think about where I came from, like where I started competing, you know, in the provinces in the Philippines, you know, obviously it started traveling within my country to just try to get national points, and then it slowly, step by step, progressed, and now I'm playing in the biggest stages in the world for tennis, and this is where I've dreamed to be my whole life, so I have to have fun.
From provincial tournaments in the Philippines, where she scraped for national ranking points, to being recognized by strangers on the streets of Rome. That's not a glow-up. That's a complete reinvention of what Filipino tennis looks like on the world stage. But fame, as she's about to reveal...
Juniors meant so much to me. I think it helped so much. Well, the transition from being a junior to a professional has helped so much in terms of my character development, and just me developing as a person more than just an athlete. because then you have to manage all these expectations. You have to manage getting up and working hard every day. You have to, you're a working teenager. So there's so many things to balance, but then at the same time, I've found ways to enjoy the process and to be around people that I love is such a blessing. My mom recently retired, and my dad works remotely, so they're able to be with me a lot, which is a big thing, especially because I left home at such a young age. So, to be able to spend that time with them and to show them, to share with them my life, my professional life, because at the end of the day, they're such a big part of where I am now. I mean, if you think of every other 19-year-old, they're always going to be with their parents. So I don't think it should be really any different for us. Yeah. Well, I know that for a lot of the teenagers on tour, that's not it's not as accessible to them, for their family to be able to travel around, and I wish it was, because it's such a big part of who you are. For me, it's part of my values to be connected with family. And
Her mother literally retired her career so she could travel the world with Alex. Her father restructured his entire work life. This isn't just a support system, it's a family that reorganized itself around one dream. Now, ask yourself, with that kind of weight on her shoulder?
there's no technique that I use specifically. I think I've gained certain experience over the years of how to handle these high pressure situations. Of course, it's taken up a notch when you're playing big players and when you're playing in big courts. So it's a learning experience for me. What I try to do is just focus on the next thing that I have to do. I try not to think of the bigger picture, and I focus on what I can control. Yeah.
And she got it back on service. Kind of what was your mindset going into that, tiebreak tonight?
I think I just told myself to be brave. Just do whatever I could. I can't control how she was playing, and she I think upped her game in the second. So I tried to go for my shots, and they were effective.
Brave. Not confident, not ready. Brave, which implies she felt fear. A top 30 player admitting she had to talk herself into courage in a tiebreak? That's not weakness. That's the most honest thing you'll hear from a professional athlete all year. And
I'm quite an introvert. Definitely the younger demographic in the tour are the people I'm more comfortable with. And I'm just kind of new on the WTA tour. This is like the first time that I've played so many WTAs in a row. So hopefully I'll make more meaningful friendships and deeper connections. It doesn't feel so different because at the end of the day, you have one tournament one week, another tournament the next, and it's the same schedule whether you're on the ITF tour or the WTA. I think the fact I recognize that I'm also blessed to be living my life, or the life that I live. Of course, I've earned it. I've definitely earned it. I've put in the work. That's not to be questioned. But then again, I think it's so important to be grateful for what you have. I've witnessed poverty, in surroundings, or in my surroundings. So I don't take for granted anything, especially family and my team and just the opportunities I'm able to have. So that's why I make it a point to always be grateful. Yeah.
she coined that phrase herself, spoonful of gratitude, and behind it is something she rarely elaborates on. She has seen poverty up close, not on a documentary, in her own surroundings. That context reframes everything. Every ranking point, every wild card, every court she steps on carries a meaning most players on tour will never understand.
Oh my gosh, I was on the way to his academy because I was gonna try it out before we committed. I was just gonna try it out for a week, and then we ran into him in the airport, in the Madrid airport, and kind of embarrassing to say. We kind of ran after him. Like, not ran after, but we were, we were fanning, fangirling. And then we told him, oh, we're going to your academy and stuff like that. And then he took a picture with us. And I'll try to find that picture. Yeah, you're gonna freak out. So I try not to be superstitious. Last time I talked to Rafa, we were talking about my serve. Yeah, he was giving me some tips on court. So it was pretty cool to get advice from him. If he says something, I'll do it. Like, yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's really...
Nadal is working on her serve. That's not a throwaway line. That's one of the greatest tennis minds in history making technical interventions on a 20-year-old's game. And her response? Total, unconditional trust. If he says something, I'll do it. Now factor that in against the WTA statement, and it all clicks.
Yeah, Alex, I know every match is different, every tournament's different, but we're a year removed from that magical run you had in Miami. What did you gain from that you could apply here, either in terms of experience, technically, tactically, anything like that?
Yeah, I think that Miami run was really big. It was my biggest result. And I think that was kind of the spark that lit the fire. I learned so much from that week, and I'll always remember it as that. But there's so many things that have happened in between then and now that have added to how I've grown as a player and as a person. And I think one of the biggest things is maturity, experience, being able to surround myself consistently with this high of a level of tennis players and this high of a level of competition pushes me to be better. So I'm trying to find my limits and go past that, yeah.
She doesn't call Miami her peak. She calls it a spark. There's a massive psychological difference. One is a destination, the other is a starting point. Every move she's made since, the Guadalajara title, Indian Wells, Rome, has been her testing exactly how far past that spark she can go. The WTA isn't just watching Alex Eala. They're preparing for her. And if you've made it this far, you already know she's not a story that's peaked. She's a story that's just starting. Drop a comment. Do you think she wins a Grand Slam before 2028? Subscribe.